Good morning. Welcome to Saturday. Do you know where we go?
Over here, yeah.
I've got shitloads to get through today, but my first duty is coming to vote in my first Australian election. Yep, that's me voted. I think like maybe the world over, the polling places in the local primary school or village hall, I guess, but anyway, that's me done. Pretty straightforward process. I did a lot of research prior to voting. There were 26 candidates in the higher house and 6 in the lower house, the House of Representatives and the Senate. I read the policies of every single one of all of them. And the way you do it here is you rank them in order of preference. So it is a bit more involved than the UK elections, where you only vote in the lower house and you just put a tick by the one you want, or a cross. But anyway, I always read all of the literature because I like to make it as informed a decision as I can. But anyway, yes, that's all done, and we shall see what happens. Where I live is a pretty safe seat. The same party has been in charge for 100 years. So I'm not expecting radical change where I live, but let's see. We shall find out how the country has decided. It's later on Saturday. As I mentioned, voting is completed, and as you can see, I have been continuing Operation Thin the Trees. So I've now made my way from our centre path to our fire break, and the benefit of that is I can come up in the car. Now all I have to do is reverse back down again, unload and process. Anyway, very pleased with that. Strip 1 complete. Now what I need to do is go back and start again on the centre path and work my way along the next strip up. Good morning, welcome to Monday. Another quarter has flown by and we've designated today Sweeping the Chimney Day again. I filmed it last time from my point of view, and we thought this time Will's kindly agreed to allow us to film it from his point of view, so we'll see what it looks like up on the roof. The rest of the job is exactly as it was before. So giving the range just a good clean out, giving the range a clean internally, externally, and oiling it and making it look lovely. But most importantly, enabling it to burn more efficiently. We're coming into winter now, so this is probably the most important chimney sweeping of the year. before. After. Will isn't the only one who gets to monkey around up on the roof. We each have our own special roof jobs. And since the ladder's up, I thought I might as well have a go at mine. So we'll head up there now and I'll talk to you about what that's all about. Welcome to the roof. So as I say, we both have our own special roof jobs. Will's is cleaning the chimney. Yes, my hands are this dirty. Get over it. Will's is cleaning the chimney and mine is clearing the gutters. Obviously we've got a gutter at the back of the house, as you can see, and there's a similar one at the front of the house. I'm just going to start here because this is where the ladder is. I clean the gutters for two reasons. Firstly, it's an anti-bushfire measure, and secondly, as you may be aware, our entire water system is rainwater based, so most of the water for the house comes from the roof, down the gutters, down the pipes and into this tank, which we then pump up the hill to our concrete tank, which you can just make out there through the tree, and then that goes down to the house underground through gravity. The only exception being the toilet. The water for the toilet comes from the pond, miles and miles and miles away on our neighbour's property. Yes, that's weird. No, I wouldn't have chosen to do that. The gutters aren't looking too bad. I make a point of cleaning them out right at the start of the fire danger period, which is usually late spring, early summer, and usually again during the fire danger period. If there's been lots of hot weather, that tends to make the trees lose their leaves, and also the hot weather tends to coincide with windy weather. I have this stuff here, it's called gutter guard, and the point of it is to stop leaves accumulating in the gutter. But what it does do instead is it means the leaves accumulate on the gutter guard. So what I'm doing now really is just clearing out the leaves from the gutter guard, because there aren't too many actually in the gutter. And yeah, as I say, in the summer I do that to protect the house from ember strike, from the bushfires which will land on the leaves and set them on fire and then set the house on fire. This time of year mostly it's just to make sure the flow of water down the gutters is kept nice and clear so that we're maximising our ability to capture water. So I'm just going to get on with it, and maybe I'll show you a quick view. This is me up on the roof. This is how things look from up here. I'll show you the front too. It's nice up here. That's a closer look at our satellite dish. This isn't for TV, this is for our internet. It's a service called the NBN, which comes to place people like us who live in the countryside via space. And a little closer look at some of our solar panels. Well, I'm going to crack on with this. I won't film it, but what I will do is film the view from the other side, and maybe also show you this roof is usually, this bit of gutter, sorry, is usually okay. It's the front of the house that gets the worst problems because of these trees. Anyway, I shall see you presently. Side one complete. Now I'm onto the front of the house. Can you see how different that is? It's these trees. It's fine. Gives me something to do. I'm still on the ladder, but here's a little peek of what it looks like from up here. It's quite nice doing this job in winter, in summer, even in the morning. This roof is surprisingly hot and it pays to just keep moving really quickly. but it's fine now, so I shall work my way along. Here's another close-up view of the solar panels on the front of the house. There we go. Hope you can see the difference. I'm stood up on the other end of the roof. It's a nice view. That's the snake cupboard. That's the gravel path with the lawn I was doing a while ago. Technically our orchard. That's our neighbour's orchard. Nice view down on the autumn plants. That's fig tree. That's that lozed cotoneaster, which kind of looks nice at this time of year when it's getting into its red. I don't mind it then. It's me looking down on the topiary. That's actually quite handy up here because I can work on the top with relative ease. And time to head back down. See you tomorrow. Yes, it's taken some time, but here we are, the first proper frost of this winter. Well, it's autumn technically still, but we've had dewy mornings. Temperature's currently just about 1 degree. And it's a consequence of this lovely clear night we had. The first, no doubt, of many. Oh, I'm going to go in and enjoy the fire. Type of bird called a currawong. They're mostly migratory, so we get huge flocks come through in winter and again in summer. So in the summer they go up the hills to where it's cooler, and in winter they come back down again to where it's warmer. We have a pair that's a resident. Apparently that's quite unusual for this altitude. Usually they don't stick around over summer, but we have a pair that do, and this is part of the migratory flock. We'll stop off here for some biscuits. We'll even let some eat out of his hand. I prefer to not do that anyway. The Currawongs. Look at this. It's almost the definition of being an armchair naturalist. I've even seen kangaroos drink out of the bird bath. A couple of females. They're almost always less timid than the males. Filming's been a bit interrupted this week because something very unusual is happening next week. And this, if I go into the spare room, might be a bit of a clue. If you can see, I am gearing up for going overseas. So by the time you watch this, I would probably have been there and come back, unless the plane crashes. Anyway, I am going back to the UK. I haven't been back to the UK for 6 years. I would have gone in 2020, but COVID-19 halted my plans. So I'm packing check luggage, hand luggage, and prior to that we're going to Melbourne again for a couple of days, so that's my Melbourne suitcase. So it's a bit of a logistical balancing act, thinking what I'm going to need and when and how I'm going to shuffle it all about. Luckily, logistical shuffling things about is my forte. My main skill in life is imparting order on things, so I'm in my element. I'm pretty much there. I've got my bag of liquids, which I'm going to decant into little bags, which I've already got in my hand luggage. Anyway, so as a result, I've just been doing all these little bitty things in preparation, so I haven't really had a kind of focus to my day, certainly, that I think would be of any particular interest to film. So this will be a very different, possibly very short film. Sorry, just noticed some kangaroos out on the lawn. Yeah, so this will possibly be look at these currawongs. I know I filmed them before, but even when you come out of the door, they're just everywhere. Begging for food. Oh. Hello. Oh, and there comes Vita. Any hint of food and she's straight on it. She is obsessed by biscuits. Hello, you two. Anyway, so yes, prep's underway. Packing is largely done. And what I'm probably going to do, the last thing I do before I go, is give the house a nice clean so that Will doesn't have to bother too much about that. Yeah, I'll come out and feed the birds in a minute. As you may also know, I'm big into prepping. So this is a draft version. It's now up to 3 pages, but I've got this 3-page documents for Will. With instructions of things that he can do whilst I'm away, because I do most of the stuff around the house, so he probably won't even know where to start. So that's why it's all gone a bit mad this week. My attention has really been elsewhere, but now you know. The cat's out of the bag, aren't you? So fingers crossed it all goes well. That's the main reason that I wanted to go to pick up my passport in Melbourne. That was the first thing I did. That's because I knew that I'd need it for this trip. Lots to think about, but that's what's happening. So I guess actually in a way the vlog will take a quite different turn for the next 3 or so episodes. Because obviously I won't be documenting my life as a British lady living overseas. I'll be documenting myself as a British lady being back in Britain. So I hope the content I make is sort of interest to people who don't live in Australia, but maybe the next few episodes will be of more interest to people that do live in Australia. Forgive the lighting, it's very, very gloomy out there. It's not even that late, it's like 4:30. Anyway, before I sign off this week, I thought I'd give you a quick election update, since that's how we started, just in case you were wondering. The party I wanted to win didn't win. They came fourth. But we have a new government, a Labour government as opposed to a more conservative-leaning government. So that's the election excitement for these next 3 years until we have to go and do it all again. I'm off to finish packing, and in a few days' time I'll be jetting back off to the UK, so I look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Oh shit.